Welcome back to the DreamHack Showdown here in Valencia, Spain. We just witnessed CLG put Demise to WERK work in game number 1, and I am so ready, Bleth, to see what happens in game number 2.
That was complete domination. That was just CLG Red showing that they are why they're the favorites, right? And going to Mirage, I still expect to see a little bit more from Demise. It looked like I said, it wasn't they played bad. They just didn't have the right, the protocols in place. They didn't really have some of those dry strats, those dry ran strats, which CLG Red had. They were more like kind of winging it felt like, and that's why they kind of fell apart there. CLG Red were definitely the more prepared team. Mirage, however, being the pick coming in from Demise, I'm expecting to see a much more closer game. But that being said, if Kat and Jennifer, if they continue to play the way they're playing right now, I believe it's going to be a very quick 2-0.
One of the things to consider about tournaments like this is there are so many factors, right? Demise did very well on the first day. They didn't have to play any matches yesterday, and I'm sure they were practicing, but who knows, maybe game number 1 of today, getting back into that tournament mindset on the stage, could have had a little bit of struggle perhaps, but maybe in this next one, they'll be able to turn things around.
We did kind of touch upon this on the desk yesterday, where we were talking about how even if you win those first 2 best-of-ones in day 1, you get a day off. But that means when you're playing on the final day, you do tend to start a little cold. CLG Red haven't played the entire day yesterday. They are obviously warmed up, ready to raring to go, and they're looking really on point. And for Demise, it could be the case of just having a very cold start. Hopefully, they should be warmed up, because Mirage, if they don't, just start off with the get-go, they're just going to get stomped out of the server. Because CLG Red right now are playing such good Counter-Strike.
And these ladies ain't dumb. I'm sure they were paying attention to the fact that Demise had to go through some really hefty competition to get to this point. And CLG Red are very aware of what they had to face and being a very different caliber and just different style of competition. So I'm sure wanting to compensate and make sure that all of their strategies are on point and on lock, going onto a map like Mirage, where execution and unity behind those decisions is key.
Oh, absolutely. And it's going to come a lot down on the CD side, I feel like. For CLG Red, I'll tell you what's going to happen here. They are going to make Demise feel uncomfortable. What CLG Red are going to do are they're going to be pushing extremities to the map. They're going to be forcing, fights to be taken towards mid. They're going to make sure Demise won't have the freedom of movement on their T side, and they'll take a lot of time clearing out angles, waiting for pushes before they can go for executes. And that's going to be the CD side I expect to see from CLG Red, being very disruptive. For Demise, though, I haven't seen much from them on the Inferno, but this one, they need to counter everything CLG Red's throwing at them, or else it's GG, game over, sorry, you gotta go back home.
But I do worry if that adaptive nature that we've known to come from CLG really kicks into effect, then it could be difficult for Demise to react and kind of adjust their strategy to them. Because CLG Red, during their T side on the first map, they pretty much got to commit to the same strategy for a hefty bulk of the round, since it wasn't really being contested at all. And I'm sure if there was something being done by Demise, it would have been a different story. But it's time for Mirage.
Here we go.
That's where we're heading for game number 2 on our map. CLG Red versus Demise in our best of 3 semifinal here at the DreamHack Showdown.
We do have Smoke and a couple of flashbangs on the in-game leader herself, Hellrose, who had a pretty rough time on Inferno. And by the way this setup, it looks like it is going to be, well, I thought it was going to be a B hit there. We have Hellrose still towards apartments, ready to deploy the smoke and the flashes as required. And I think she's trying to sell a fake. Problem is, Goosebeard is waiting, and they know it's a fake. Immediately, the players are going to be rotating towards A. No, they're heading towards B. They're falling for this. They think it's a B hit, and they've given up the A bomb, so just one player remains. And that, I do believe, is Emmy waiting to his ticket booth.
Demise are spread out here on the A site. Emmy a few steps back from Ticket, throwing out some shots, so they know that she's there, but she's holding pretty effectively with a lot of defensive cover. And they ended up losing Jennifer, but Hellrose getting picked off earlier. Demise now have to stick to this site with that plant. Bullet Girl sees Goosebreeder hopping over that wall and punishes her for that fact. But Cass is here in combination with Diane and Emmy to help with the cleanup, as Bullet Girl and Nessa farther back towards jungle in the opposite end of connector end up losing out on that battle. Nessa, ooh, with that great way to put this over into Demise's pocket.
Absolutely, and I'm still a little surprised. Maybe I'll probably go back and watch a VOD or something as to why they rotated almost all their players out from A towards the B bomb site. Because when Goosebreeder got that kill onto the player at apartments, I think, yeah, at B apps, it was Hellrose, she didn't spot anyone else. So I thought they would have immediately known there was probably a fake being thrown towards B. And I kind of felt like that little bit of an early over-rotation cost them the round. But again, coming down to the wire. But for Demise, that's the start they needed. They win the pistol round. Can they convert this one is the question.
They're going a whole different way this time. Instead, focusing over more towards B, moving through mid right now. And Jennifer is watching through the opposite side of connector and will see when Tina's seen, but that is Jennifer getting that shot. She's been so on point with her crosshair.
And look at the way they're holding apartments as well. We have Emmy who's pushed up all the way to its B app. She's got a smoke deployed. That's going to delay them further. By the way they're set up right now, they look like they are looking towards a B hit here. But Emmy pushed in so deep, she's going to definitely try and get at least one kill. And even if when she gets taken down, the rotation's already going to be taking place. Nice Molotov there to flush her out, but now she knows there are at least a couple of players towards B and the rotation is already taking place. For Demise, that could make them reconsider their options, and exactly, they're going to be heading towards A now.
And there's too much trouble waiting on the other end of those apartments. So going right through the spawn area to rotate towards A, where Diana, she's still watching. She's aggressively positioned onto that site so she can get the lines onto the T-ramp, which is where most of Demise will be focusing, not even putting anyone towards Palace. So they completely stack in here. There's the first shot attempt, but it misses. So Nessa with the AK, a bit more accurate coming off from her end. Demise, they're vent chunk low though, and CLG Red are rotating through from the backside.
Even though she didn't get the kill, look at the damage being dealt to Bullet Girl, Nessa, and Hellrose. They're also very low. Kim's the only one with full HP, and she's got a Galil as well to work with, as Cat is going to start this retake, finding Nessa. And it's going to be Emmy joining the party as well. Two players remaining, Kim and Bullet Girl, and Emmy just playing out the corners. And Kim, she's got so much pressure on her shoulders here. She's got to make something work, and she's going to find one looking for the second kill. Spray doesn't work out. Cat's going to get the kill, but will it work out? Bullet Girl's still there, and they won't be expecting her as she finds a kill, and she's still tapping the defuse, but won't work. Bullet Girl will clutch this one out, but that was too close for comfort.
Yeah, that looked very dangerous there. Luckily, I think because Bullet Girl was hanging back to see what would happen and maybe not as aware on the side of CLG Red where she would be popping out from that T-ramp, then she got the good luck, timing right to clear that off, and Demise off to a completely different start during this game.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Still really hard, though. It hasn't been easy picked up rounds.
Oh, yeah, that round could have easily gone the way of CLG, by the way. But a little bit of some pretty good mid-round adaptations. Fast B play coming out from them. It's going to be the Mactons leading the charge because they know now it's going to be a full eco, and they go for the right gamble. CLG Red are going to be going for that mid-A stack, and now they realize it's retake time. So, yeah, pretty much a throwaway round for CLG Red here, and Demise should be looking to win this one without giving away too many guns. I say that, though.
Yeah, 2 down on both sides, and Demise, they still have Kim, Tina, and Nessa spread across over on that site with Bullet Girl down to 2 HP. And CLG Red end up finding it to go ahead and finish that off with a shot from Emmy. So she's moving in from the arches, seeing who's walked around pillars, but Kim's here on the top side from the apartments, gets the angle through that window, and now feeling much better for it. So Demise, they only have Kath. That it's pretty far off right there that they have to worry about. She's coming over through connector, and the bomb's going to be exploding right about now for Demise to win the round.
Oh yeah, that was, I like what CLG Red did there. They had just a few upgraded pistols, and for them, because they knew Demise had only one player stay alive in the second round, if they took away more rifles, that would ensure even if Demise with 3-0 up, they wouldn't really have much money to work with. Unfortunately for them, Demise do manage to keep all the 3 rifles alive. That was very crucial for them going into this round. Because if you look at the cash with Demise, apart from Tina, who's at 4,400, the rest of them are kind of low when it comes to money. But the buy is going to be coming in for CLG Red finally, and it's the big green gun in the hands of Diane, and aggression coming out from Kat.
They do get to position much more aggressively. Kath does get one before she falls to Bullet Girl. And now it's the 4v4. Hellrose chunked down to 60, and now Tina has fallen off. Too dangerous for her in this case. Diane, very effective on it, holding on these stairs to look towards that palace entrance, which is where Nessa has pushed on through. So she's on top of that balcony and drops down to look below it for the shot onto Goose Breeder, but Goose Breeder's got the AUG to spray it right on down to her deathbed. 4 still standing for CLG Red versus Bullet Girl and Hellrose for Demise.
Yeah, I don't think she was expecting the player playing from Shadow, and 2 players left. Kat, a little bit of a, I don't want to be negative Nancy, but after she got the first kill, she could have potentially fallen back, but no harm done if you look at the way, obviously with Goose Breeder and Diane picking up those other 2 kills, making things rough with Demise. But that being said, they're going to be boosted up. they've given up a bit of map control here. They're opting to play very, very passively as CLG Red, which is fair enough. Like, you know, you have the two-man advantage. There's no need to over-aggress and give a free 1v1. And now Emmy, she has an inkling that might be hit towards B.
She was really close on Bullet Girl's trail, but now backed off over towards B to offer some support for Jennifer, who might be running into Hellrose hopping down from the apartment area. A smoke down on that entrance too, just in case from the arches. And now Emmy's hanging off the side of the van. And that's the look that she was looking for. Knew that was going to be coming over with the bomb.
I really liked what Demise tried that round. It was a 2v4, it was going to be a very unwinnable situation as it was. They kept the play towards the jungle, towards the window area. And you saw Hellrose trying to throw a smoke and try and draw the rotation from the A players. So her teammate who was sitting in jungle would have got the kill. But CLG did not fall for it. They played it very passively. They forced the lurker to make a play, and Diane ready and waiting with that op. Well played by CLG Red, and more importantly, they keep 4 players alive and ensure they don't lose too many guns.
Yeah, 1 to 3, not a bad place to be, and CLG Red shutting it down before Demise really kind of run away with it and their lunch money to boot. So as far as money goes and the purchases that are being made, CLG Red managed to pick up a couple of the weapons from Demise, which will help them pad those.
Oh, absolutely. You want those AK-47s, right? Especially with the AUG nerf coming in. I think AK is once again going to be the favorite weapon for CTs to pick up once they take down a T. And for Demise, despite being 3-1 up, you can clearly see their money is not that great because they lost too many players on his anti-ecos. It's going to come and bite them in the butt. But the execute's going to be coming in towards A, and Goose Breeder and Diane ready and waiting.
It's an A commit and smokes to boot as Hellrose rotates over and trying to make some kind of play happen with the rest of the team spread on the opposite side. There's the bomb plant completely covered by the utility, so now CLG Red have a timer on the block to try to deal with this.
This is uncharacteristically very, very uber passive, I would say. But nice flashback. Nessa gets the kill on the Goose Breeder despite being blinded, and Emmy, she gives too much time for her to recover. She gets found out as well, and now it's all on Diane and Jennifer. And considering Diane's so very low, they're going to head to the hills and going to call it a day here. It's going to be round number 4 for Demise. That was surprising from CLG Red. I don't know why they played it so very passively. They were going for the retake play, but 5v5 retakes can get messy.
When you look at Demise and the way that they're moving it aggressively, which you expect with what they were working with going into that, then you would think that CLG might have reacted a bit more in response to that potential play, but instead I think gave some breathing room because maybe they thought they were going to go for something a little more crazier off the bat.
And and a little bit of luck favoring the bold as well. Look at that, Nessa gets the kill. She was completely blinded, and Emmy didn't re-peek out immediately. That gave her time to pick up the AK-47 and get a second kill as well. So yeah, but you know what? Sometimes fortune favors the brave as well. As Demise said, they're going to be so very happy with the way that round played out. They won a round that they shouldn't have won, at least on paper, and now they have the rifles to work with. 4-1. For CLG Red, though, they have the guns again, and Diane finds Kim, who was trying to be a little over-aggressive, but the action is actually taking place towards A.
That was a bloody burn down from Goose Breeder onto that top angle, and Kath on the S4 feeling very comfortable indeed. Complete wipeout on Demise really quickly in that round. CLG Red said, oh, okay, I know you're feeling good after that last one, but let's remind you about our previous game.
That was much cleaner round, absolutely. Great counter flashes coming in as well from the CDs. Look at this, they knew there's a player towards Tetris. Cat shutting it down from that sandwich position as well. It's not that easy to play towards sandwich, because once they know where you are, you're kind of trapped, and you need to kind of fight your way out, or you have to rely on your teammates to flash their way, to kind of flash into safety. So that's going to force Demise to go for this B play here.
Well, you understand what you say. I got all the protein and everything I need. I got my energy to make those plays kind of happen, and it worked out for them there. Demise are working through the apartments to make a B play. Him hanging back.
No.
Emmy is still over here in the corner of this pocket. She finds one, she finds another. Looks to the top side and gets a third.
That should not be happening. And yeah, they're just getting completely slaughtered here.
That was another really effective CLG Red pull-off where even though one walks away with the triple, it's very much a team effort in putting those positions in spot to catch out every rotation possibility.
I like what Hellrose did. She was the only player who didn't have any weapon to speak of. I think she even dropped her gun to her teammate. She was the bait, and she was the info-finding player, so to speak. She dropped on first. And the second player who dropped down, I really felt like at least 2 more should have dropped down to ensure that Emmy, even if she got the first kill, that there would be a trade taking place. And the fact that she got 3 kills without ever getting traded was not really ideal. So Demise now taking a pause. They should still be feeling pretty comfortable. You know, 4 rounds in the T side with just 7 rounds played is still pretty decent.
It's a very different mental space for both of these teams because CLG Red don't have to necessarily worry as much when Demise picked up those early rounds because they feel so confident in not only their abilities as individuals, but their trust with one another, that camaraderie that you've seen even in their packages earlier, that especially with the map advantage that they have picking up the last one, it's been very nice for them to lean on. And Jennifer, oh my God! Forget about J-Lo. This is Jenny from the block, picking up 4 frags here through connector to just wide open this round, man.
Did you get the ace?
Jenny. Wow, that's a way to make your mark here in Valencia.
Well, I mean, eco ace or not, that's definitely going to make you feel good, right? And especially considering she was a top fragger in the previous game, for her, again, continuing that form, that's going to be huge indeed. I was a little worried Diane was going to steal that away, but good job, Jennifer, getting it.
Yeah,
She helped the teammate out.
And then maybe backed off, said, oh, okay, I'm sorry. You can have that one, but... And just bring that momentum into here. Lots of utility being spread out right off the bat, and then lots of T's also stacked over towards this A site with a spread. One was over towards mid, but they've taken care of it already. Kath just hiding right below this palace entrance, ready to rotate out, and Hellrose gets cut right off at the stem.
Why would you not check Shadow? 2 players walked on out, and during all that time when they were out there, Kath was actually lining up the flashbang. No one checked her. That should never be happening. And again, so some of these rounds are so very strange from Demise. It's like they're just going for fast plays towards A or fast plays towards B, or maybe trying to go for a 1-player fake and then just some basic stuff. But even though they're 4 rounds here, it's still early days, I'm not too convinced with the ways they're approaching their rifle rounds.
And it's so hard when you're going up against those quick rounds where you have to make a change so fast moving into the next. And Kath, she starts to open up this round by taking out Kim. Jennifer is watching from that window angle where Demise is very aware that she was based on their firing that they were doing, but couldn't quite connect it. So now we're moving up towards the apartment area where Kath and Emmy are waiting. Emmy in her very special spot that's worked out well for her here by Van, to just clear him out, that I am your landlord. You cannot stay here. Get out of the apartments, and I will revoke your rent as CLG Red take that round.
Again, not even a single player coming out from the apartments. It was kind of a very light buy, to be very honest. So I don't think they're going to be too really chuffed about that fact. But Emmy has been so good in that position. And the problem is, there are ways to counter that spot. There are ways to Molotov it off, flash it off, peek her together and take her down. But they just have not been able to neutralize her. And this is a problem. Mind you, CLG Red are bouncing back. And I think the only round Demise won was kind of like that that half buy towards the A bomb side where CLG Red kind of gave it up and played retake. But apart from that, for a full buy rounds, rifle round versus rifle round, CLG Red have looked like the far better team.
When it comes to when you're watching from their perspective, right, and you're looking at how many shots are landing as opposed to not, it's pretty insane that their accuracy and just the way they've been executing, and even in the faster rounds where, 30 seconds and it's done because we all did exactly what we had decided to do prior to that timer starting. Oh
yeah, absolutely. And right now, with this tactical timeout, I do believe getting called by, I think it's called by Demise, and they need to like talk things through. 6-4, that scoreline might look close right now, but the way CLG Red are playing and the lack of the mistakes and the lack of execution that I'm seeing from Demise right now, this could very well, very easily become a snowball out of control and be a 10 or 11 for half for CLG Red. And from there, coming back is going to be really, really rough indeed. So if they're going to try and take it to map number 3, they need to wake up and try to get as many rounds as they can on their T side.
Sometimes those rounds can be, or halves rather, can be even more of a bummer than if you were just getting rolled early, because then you think back and you say, I had some good momentum early, we all did, but then looking at the score line, you wouldn't know that at all by the way it finished up. So you have to decide, how do we get back into that form? And now in an attempt to do that, Demise, They're just not really stacking anywhere. They're trying to get more of a feeler for where CLG Red are positioned, since Emmy has been so effective in blocking all of their rotations onto B site in totality.
And also, even if you look at the way they're holding the A bomb side, they're mixing it up every single time. This time around, they're playing just with that one player towards, that's Goose Breeder, playing towards Ticket Booth, and 2 players towards mid, 2 at B. So if they go for this B hit, for example, the rotation is going to be fast and furious indeed. So they're forcing Demise to keep guessing, right? And that's never an ideal spot to be in. But the way they're set up right now, again, they're waiting for aggression. It looks like they're going to be heading towards the B bomb side, looking at the positions from Hellrose especially. They might be trying to sell something over at A, though. They have a couple of players there.
Emmy, though, and Kath is also pushed up here, starting to hear those shots rain through, looking up towards the window frames of the apartments. And now that kind of puts some spook into Demise as they're waiting in the apartments, because you know that they're landing all of their shots as soon as you've made yourself known before. And as far as utility, that's what you got to lead in with. There's one Molly to go down, so Emmy takes a lot of damage in the process, and that is eventually capitalized upon by Nessa. But Kath, that's why she's here. She's got her back, gets the double frag. Nessa making it a double for herself too, though, to start to clear out this site, and the bomb is towards the plant position, but not able to get planted yet, because it's still getting cleared out, and Goose Breeder with the final pops, but the CLG Red at 7.
They're just so good right now. I mean, Emmy gets taken down first, so it's a man advantage for Demise, but then Kath doing such a good job getting 2 kills, trying to delay them for as long as possible. They don't even get the bomb down because the retake's already on point. Great flashbangs to help the play. I think it was Goose Breeder who got that kill, and then Diane again with the op. In-game leader, opping like a maniac, and Demise, nothing's going their way.
Goose Breeder did say they wanted to not just win, but win convincingly.
Oh, this is looking very convincing to me.
And they're committed to that. They have multiple goals in sight. Demise started to pop out into mid a bit just to get some looks, see if anybody was lurking in window or possibly from that outer edge of connector, and couldn't find anything, so now they feel more confident in rotating over towards that A site. A lot of times they've only focused through the ramp avenue, but this time Tina is coming by through Palace, where Kath is waiting in the dark spot to try and let everyone know once she hears those sounds and those footsteps. But Kim, Hellrose, and friends are coming through the T-ramp, looking for who they can find. Kath gets the first frag of this site push and makes it a double once again. Emmy is here on this side for another time, and CLG Red just completely obliterate the attempt of Demise to make that play.
Yeah, complete, utter annihilation. Again, mixing it up. They were not expecting the crossfire again, right? And they're going to be wondering at one point, like, how are there so many players ready and waiting for us no matter which side we go towards? And that is CLG Red being so very mobile on the CD side. And again, I'm feeling a little bad for Demise because they're getting completely outplayed.
The fact that every time they do rotate over towards A, CLG Red slightly changing their positioning adds just enough time on what it takes for Demise to visually clear out the area, and then they can't make the shots because they looked in and they looked at all of the places that you're supposed to kind of when you first make that entrance, but as soon as they popped around towards the left, there was Kath.
Then again, you know, the thing with Mirage also is the fact that it is not necessarily that... It's been played out to death now, so many teams. Like, I personally feel I would like to see a new map come in instead of Mirage, to be very honest. But hold on to that thought. It is going to be a fast play towards A.
Another commit!
This could actually work on out, though, because there's no one towards A, and they're going to be just pushing in, trying to strong-arm their way in. But Diane's so smart. She fell back, waited for Emmy to be kind of like helping her out.
Yeah, they're already making this impact over from that kind of window side, and the fire starts to get thrown down onto the ground, but so do the bodies. Tina, Bullet Girl, and Nessa as well. Goose Breeder on the opposite end, but it's Emmy and Kath, this dynamic duo that have been working together so well and clearing out multiples on the T side. For Kim, 66 HP to her name, sitting over in the T ramp. Bomb is on site and planted. So can she get any way to play this bomb against this many players? I think not. Emmy gets the defuse as Jen cleared her off.
Was that a little bit of BM? I love it. I love it. She's just rattling off bullets at the body, and you love to see it. I especially do. And for Demise,
personality.
Yeah, I mean, I love what they're doing here. Now it's going to be the Dak coming out in the hands of Goose Breeder. The auto. You like that gun, don't you?
Seems to, that's for sure. She really, yeah, she's brought out the Scar again. And I always like seeing it because last time we saw it, we didn't actually actually get to see her shoot with it because she got taken down early in the round. So I really want to see it in action here. Jennifer is the first one to be pulling the trigger onto Bullet Girl to knock this wide open, though.
Look at those flashbangs. Look at the way those flashbangs are popping out. Demise is just getting completely blinded top mid. And it's not like they're just like giving up taking the fights. They are taking these fights, but CLG Red, they're just so well paced out at the moment here. And again, it's triangle hold towards mid. Although they've now kind of given up mid, it's not completely. Jennifer's there waiting around the corner, finds Hellrose, and one by one, they meet their demise.
No, Jennifer, I need some teas to get to A site so I can see Goose Breeder get these shots off. Please, just let somebody funnel through. Don't do your job. Don't do what you're supposed to do.
Well, there is still one more round after this, so...
Yeah, it's true. If she stays up and at him, then, yeah, that's what I'm going to be keeping my eye out for. I just want to see her put it to work, you know?
I think I saw like at least 6 to 7 flashbangs pop top of mid when...
that was so much utility.
When Jennifer went up. And that's the thing, she gets the 2 kills and gets away. That is an ideal scenario. There you go, you should be happy.
Yay, no, that's all I wanted. You don't have to keep going, Goose Breeder, if you don't want to, but I'm sure you do.
She can't even get anything done.
Yeah, she can't. Her teammates are also just too good at this point. Jennifer and Emmy getting the last frags of that round. And now we're going into the last round of the half, 10-4 in CLG's favor.
If I was Besiktas and watching this game right now, I would be, I wouldn't say too worried because they played really well in the game as well, but I'm going to be like, okay, this is a team who can really pose a challenge. Besiktas have looked the best team by far, but CLG Red, this has been like an exponential like rise curve in their skill ceiling by the looks of it. Finally, Jennifer will fall, but look at the number of flashbangs just popping out here.
Ding, ding. That noise is just on a loop, basically, at some of these starts of these rounds. There goes another one, and right off of that, Kath with the M4, another double frag for herself. Emmy's here over by the arches, she picks a couple up. Bullet Girl wants to make the statement for herself too, with 2 in her favor on the kill count. She's rocking that AK, and now with a bullet in the head.
11-4 the scoreline, and that was just a masterclass CD side coming up from CLG Red. I don't know, can they bring it back? I don't know, and we're going to be finding out after a very, very quick break.
Ya no sé cómo te explico otra vez tu corazón frío, tus morales me dejan sin palabras. Ya no sé cómo te explico. Ya no sé cuántas chances te he dado, pobre de ti por ser complicado. Eres incapaz de ver otro lado. Así que bye, 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 quédate solito. Ay, ay, no, te necesito. Bye, 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 quédate solito. Bye, 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 quédate solito. Ay, ay, no, te necesito. Bye, 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 quédate solito. Resistí pegarte de gritos, porque así evito argumentos, tus excusas por no pedir disculpas. Resistí pegarte de gritos. Ya no sé cuántas chances te he dado, pobre de ti por ser complicado. Eres incapaz de ver otro lado. Bye, 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 quédate solito. Ay, ay, no, te necesito. Bye, 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 quédate solito. Bye, 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 quédate solito. Ay, ay, no, te necesito.
Welcome back, everybody, here in Valencia, Spain, DreamHack Showdown. We're going into our second half of our second map of the semifinal with CLG Red and Demise, and it has been quite a fight indeed, Bleh. I am on the edge of my seat to see if they're able to close it out here.
Demise only won one rifle round. The first 3 rounds they won because of the pistol round, which came down to the wire, and then 2 anti-ecos. Apart from that, CLG Red have had their number, and now it's going to be an A-hit coming in. 2 nades, 2 flashbangs. That's an interesting buy. Oh yeah, smokes as well. And it's going to be a very default take coming in here, and Tina realizes that's not much she can do all by London. She's going to fall on back, waiting for teammates to come in, but a flashbang is great and perfect as Jennifer and Kat are going to double team the way all the way towards CD spawn.
Kath even changing out for the USP there, and now she's going to be keeping her eye over on that back alley, but Hell Rose manages to get the burn down onto Diane, as 2 have been plucked off for CLG Red. It's the 3v3, Emmy picking it onto Kim, and now Hell Rose and Nessa are the ones trying their best to get this, faking out the defuse, and they're caught out by Goose Breeder, but Nessa puts her to the test with the 2 T's right around the corner. Can you get it? Yes, you do it, girl. Nessa popping off.
Does she have the time, though? There's not much time remaining. She really had to go for it. I think she's got it.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. That was as close as it could get, but a 1v3 from her. She had to go for this fight, and, well, they win the pistol round. Another one. But is it going to be enough?
You saw everyone so tense, and then as soon as it happened, they just all sunk into their chairs. That was a very difficult path of execution for her to take, with 2 Ts around the corner on that close angle, but she managed it.
And CLG played it almost to perfection, and they would have been like, yeah, there's no way she's going to get a defuse in time, but I think barely a nanosecond was remaining on the timer. But here we go, 11-5. CLG Red getting the bomb done means they have that little bit of extra money, and they're not going to opt to invest all of it. They're just going to be going for the Deagles, and a couple of players with Kevlar. It's going to be Emmy and Kat, who've just been popping off this particular map, right?
I do love that choice, because, hey, you've got the rounds to work with. You might as well make it the faster path to victory, but that's a way to get a fast hit on the Deagle. Tina's on the FAMAS and does manage to even out the player count, but CLG Red do not want it to stay that way, so instead they just make some more pop-offs happen.
This isn't even a forced buy. It's literally just a few Deagles, just 2 players with Kevlar, barely any utility as well, and it's a 4v2, and someone needs to tell Kat that this, I think, she is basically committing a war crime here. This is just cruel and unusual punishment. Looking for more as Emmy joins the party. Gooseberry has finished things off, and Demise, well, nothing's going the way. CLG Red, they lose a pistol round, but does it really matter at this point? They just managed to win it so convincingly, just with Desert Eagles.
And CLG Red were fully prepared to just drop that round, but Kath was the one to really start that off over in the side palace, so she could get the first frag and then eventually cleared out that site for them to move on into and then completely wipe out the enemy team. And now they have so many purchases available to them, even sticking onto that FAMAS picked up last time. The Bullet Girl can't keep it on down against the AK from Goose Breeder, who's picked up the double and is looking for more trouble.
It's a pain train coming out towards the A bomb site, and a fast pick. Kim does respond back. Nice shot onto Goose, but they still have to find 4 more, and the problem is those rifles are going to be a problem. The bomb planted, if I was Demise, I'd just be going to save here. They have invested everything heavily into this round, and it's just not quite paying out.
CLG just smoked off A entirely and moved up this ramp side. You can see, I mean, the way she was able to go and get that kill into window because of their aggressive positioning all the way around the CT spawn. So CLG Red are now 13-5 in round 19.
I really can't wait to see the ladies on the desk break this one down. I think Potter's going to be gushing watching the way CLG are playing here. The utility usage, it was great on Inferno, but on Mirage, it had just been some really, really impressive stuff, right? And here's a cool thing as well. Kat and Jennifer top fragging previous map, and now Kat and Emmy top fragging. And bear in mind, Goose Breeder really popped off yesterday as well. So it's like anyone can have a very good map on this team. And if I was Besiktas, I'm going to be a little worried here.
You can't see anything in mid with all the smokes and setting ablaze the connector. So CLG have much more room to work with as they move through, but instead, it's going to be 1 falling for each. Nothing too crazy just yet.
That's all right. Emmy's there to pick up the pieces, and even if they do save that 1 FAMAS, which they've managed to get their hands on, it's okay. They were anyway going to be going for a buy into the next round, which they would probably go for M4s and AWPs. So I think CLG Red are going to be pretty comfortable just giving them that free FAMAS. Like, it's like, yeah, you can have it. It's cool. It's fine.
Well, and they took 1 from them. Yeah, so it's like, here, you can just have it back, I guess. But Demise now with the 2 CTs that are still here to try and make something out, or at least gets the save. You see that Kim is backed all the way off And the bomb is ticking on down.
Bomb's ticking on down. 14-5 will be the scoreline, and CLG Red just need 2 more rounds to get that ticket for the grand finals. 1 more win remaining for them to really be crowned champions, and they're going to be facing off against what could potentially be the final boss of this tournament, Besiktas. But then again, they still need to get us 2 more rounds. And Demise, if there was ever a time for them to wake up, now is the time.
Yeah, and we know they have the potential. We witnessed it in full effect here earlier in the tournament, and it's not over till it's over. It's really, really not. CLG Red, though, are already trying to make that the storyline very convincingly, 14-5. But Demise, they've got their full team here going into this round number 20. And also, as far as their weaponry goes, some Kevlar, 1 helmet onto Hellrose, and some M4s to boot. So Tina's backing off of Ticket.
They have quite a bit of utility. Ooh, they're going in for the try play. Emmy just running in. What is she even on here? Finds one. Goosepeter helping her out with the 2nd kill. And even though a trade does come in the form of Jennifer getting taken out by Kim, hold on. Kim finds a double, making things suddenly a lot more possible for Demise.
And now everybody from CLG Red is still over here on the A site. Goosepeter runs into some trouble, but Diane is there for the answer. Nessa's up over on the stairs. She's trying to get the angle onto Kath, who's standing behind the boxes right over the bomb that has been planted. Once she attempts to do so, Nessa, though, is put into the ground. Goosepeter also with the pickup for CLG Red to get this effectively.
Kath and Emmy right now are sitting on 51 frags between the 2 of them on this map. It's just been like a 2-girl show, both the maps. And yeah, this is just CLG Red showing what they are bringing to the table over here. And for Demise, I kind of feel a little bad for them because Desk was saying like, hey, maybe they were just like best-of-1 wonders. They did only win 2 best-of-1s there. And unfortunately, it's, you know, it's kind of showing, right, that the lack of map pool depth, for example, the lack of preparation in certain maps is really, really not panning out for them. And they're just going to be going for the fight towards mid.
Oh no, Demise is just falling into so much trouble right now, but CLG Red also end up losing a lot in that engage. The close quarters with the SMGs from Demise actually managed to make some really hefty impact onto those members. So now Jennifer and Kath have rotated towards the A site to get this plant. Kath finds Bullet Girl around the corner, but with the MP, she manages to hit her first.
Jennifer now 1v2 for Demise. They need this round to stay in the game, to stay in the tournament. And for Jennifer, she was a star in Inferno. Can she recreate the magic is the question all of us have on our lips. She's trapped in the corner. Oh, and she gets taken down. And Demise will somehow cling on the precipice of defeat.
Nice job from Tina. She was able to drop her MP5, pick up an AK from the enemy team, frag out with the final kill. And now Demise have picked up their 6th victory round, but CLG Red are still just right on the precipice of closing out it all.
Yeah, and they need to win 9 rounds in a row. Not to win the game, but to take it to overtime.
At least single digits rounds, right? You know, 9's better than 10. Hey, at least
You're an optimist. You're a very bubbly person. I like that.
I'm trying my best. All of these teams fought so hard to get here, and they're fighting to the bitter end, which I love. And some early impact from the utility of Demise onto CLG Red. As they push through, the attempted smoke has blocked off the CT. So now CLG Red locate back onto the site itself and even over towards CT spawn to see what they can pick up. And in the end, it's a couple frags. Jennifer and Emmy putting in the work, getting the bomb planted, and Hellrose has also fallen. So Tina and Bullet Girl are just gonna have to try and see if they can make something happen. But CLG Red, no, they are seeing red throughout this round. Kath is at least the way she has been going with that. And there you go, CLG Red clean up the last CT, pick up the victory, and have positioned themselves in the grand finals of the DreamHack Showdown in Valencia, Spain.
And it's going to be an EU versus NA match showdown as well, right? And it's going to be amazing to watch. For me personally, this has been probably the most convincing Counter-Strike I've seen so far in this tournament. That was such a masterclass, especially on Mirage. 16-5, 16-6. Very, very convincing scorelines. And right now, like I said it earlier, if I was Besiktas right now, I'm going to be a little worried about these girls from NA.
Well, it's so exciting because often going into the finals, one semifinal might have been more of a smash and the other one goes a bit longer. So you go into it thinking, well, does the team that just kind of rolled on through have the advantage? But both of these teams in their semifinals performed so admirably that it's really difficult to predict how they're going to match up against one another.
Oh yeah, it is going to be really hard here. The map pool is going to come into question, and I'm like, look, all the best of 3s we've had so far in the tournament have been 2-0s. This grand final, I'm expecting it. I'm not just expecting, I'm going to put my money and say we're going to see a third map because it's going to be very, very closely contested. I don't know who's going to come out on top. Everyone's looking really good on both those teams, but CLG Red right now, they have my heart. They have been phenomenal, especially Emmy, Jennifer, and Kat. Jesus Christ, the shots they were hitting.
And you have to think about what's motivating these players. They're here with a large prize pool, a potential ticket to the Open. They're representing their teams, they're representing the scene, and everyone is doing it so effectively so far. I don't know, that's what we think. What do you think over at the desk?
Well, Tigress, I think that the biggest question today was, could Demise continue the momentum they showed on day number 1 in this best of 3? And unfortunately today, it looks like they spelled out their own fate as they met their demise against CLG Red.
They certainly did, and I have to mention, as Blair mentioned on the casting desk, man, Kat, Jen, and Emmy showing up strong. We spoke about the superstars on the CLG Red side of things. Will they show up today? They were a little absent yesterday, and they definitely showed up.
They certainly did, yeah. Emmy, again, as we could see yesterday as well, the B-bomb side lockdown was shown for sure, and Kat on A as well.
It just felt like Demise wasn't able to get the ball moving along either on map 1 or 2. Was it that CLG Red had everything going as planned, or what did Demise need to do better?
I'm not really sure what Demise needed to do better because CLG Red's setups on that Mirage were so strong. I mean, you saw every single time Demise tried to hit towards that A bomb site. Kath was in the most optimal positions. Emmy was always in the most optimal positions. And not only that, they had the backup from the flashbangs from the rest of the team. So majority of the time, they were always able to get the advantageous positions.
I also saw just a few mistakes coming up to A slope, towards side. The crossfires that Demise had weren't the best, and that's how they caught off by CLG Red.
Exactly the case, and I mean, you just saw in that highlight right there exactly what we were talking about. Kath playing that under balcony position almost to perfection, just getting those first 2 easy entry kills, waiting for that flashbang from her teammate, and cleaning up the rest. It was just perfection.
Yeah, and Emmy as well, with the help of Diane and Kath on B side, it was also a lockdown. Dai came up with the op shots and picked off easily 2-3, and yeah, Emmy was also playing phenomenal on B.
Well, on the question of who Besiktas would be playing in the grand finals, it looks like CLG Red has the answer with this 2-0 victory. So first of all, congratulations, girls. You have made it to the finals in such convincing fashion as well. What does that feel like to not just move on, but to do so with such a solid performance?
Yeah, it feels really good. I think on the first day, we were all kind of jet lagged and tired. And it's not an excuse, but for sure, like, we all came in late, like, the day before, and we're all like, oh, God. And then the next 2 days, we've been, like, sleeping perfectly fine, and I think we're just ready here to go.
What was the game plan today coming into the series against Demise? Because again, they were the sort of underdog team that really impressed a lot of people on that day number 1. So based upon what you saw, was there a specific plan you had?
So going into it, I think with the veto specifically, it's a lot of teams here actually have, like, I guess it's a lot of switching around with players. So their foundations for maps are very, very weak in some certain areas. And we noticed that they banned Inferno, like, it's probably their second ban. We know what their perma ban is, so we used it to our advantage.
Well, it definitely turned out to be the case, as it was such a great performance from you guys. And speaking of roster changes, you guys recently had one as well with Kath coming in, but so far it's looking really, really good. So is that more of a testament to having played with her in the past, so you guys know exactly how to fit her right in, or did she just fit right into Benita's previous role?
I think like we changed like a lot in the beginning, but it just wasn't really working out. So we tried to like put everyone where they were comfortable, and it ended up working out that way.
Yeah, and then of course in the grand finals, you guys are going to be playing against Besiktas once again. The first time you played against them, I know you said it yourself, the team was feeling a little bit tired, a little bit jet lagged, but today is a brand new day. You guys are looking well rested, looking really prepared. So coming into this rematch, what's going to be different?
I think we're just going to play with more confidence. I think we kind of fell off in that train game. It felt like we weren't playing like ourselves normally. So, and it's LAN, it's all a mental game. So I think we've all, coming off of this win, it's a really big high right now. So I think we're going to come in there confident.
Is there any worry there, because Besiktas is the only team so far this weekend that has been undefeated, or is that actually sort of an advantage for you guys, because there's a lot for you to look at?
For me, I think if we know how to shut them down, because they do play really aggressively, especially Petra, she's been owning this entire tournament. She's been a scary person to work out for. So yeah, for sure, need to look out for Petra. But other than that, I think we're just going to go in there and play our own game.
Awesome. Well, it's an absolute pleasure to speak with both of you. I'll let you get back and prepare for the grand finals. We'll see you guys in just a little bit.
Thank you, Sue.
See you later. Please join me over on the couch, guys. I know, Potter, that it must be so, so nice to see your former teammates playing as well as they did, and what a convincing performance it was.
It definitely was, and I mean, I know Diane spoke about the confidence coming into today, but really it was just the confidence from trusting within each other. You saw multiple instances where Kath or Emmy, they were in optimal crossfire positions, just looking at the wall, dodging the flashes that they understood was coming from their teammates. And time again, they were able to capitalize on each other's teamwork.
And speaking of capitalizing, there were a lot of highlights that we could look forward to with this past series, so why don't we take a look?
On the first map, second half, it was really back and forth. They were keep losing the force buys, and here we could see that Diane killed 4 people down mid, and that took them the whole map eventually, because the round after, they were forced to, just play with pistols, and they took the map.
So based upon what we saw with this type of strength they just showed, what do they really need to highlight in this next Grand Finals match against Besiktas? Because they really need to bring everything that they have.
I think one of the most impressive things in this series that we see from CLG Red was their run of rounds. I mean, we saw, I believe, in the first half on Mirage, they were able to get 9 or 10 rounds in a row on the board, and that's something that we're not really quite used to seeing from CLG Red, that sort of consistency, a domination factor. We spoke about Demise's road being a little bit more tougher than CLG Red's side of things. That really bodes well for CLG Red going into this grand final, understanding that they've had a dominant series here now, and they can put that in their pocket and gain that confidence and go into this grand finals, understanding that this is what they're capable of.
Well, I'm absolutely looking forward to this Grand Finals now, especially with the performance that each of these Grand Finalist teams have shown in these semifinal matches. We have set the stage. It will be Besiktas taking on CLG Red right after this.